Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, we wrap up our coverage from CattleCon that was earlier this year. CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Colin Woodall, and Danielle Beck, who's in the Public Affairs Division of NCBA, will talk about what to expect the last few weeks of this year and looking into next year when it comes to all those things going on Capitol Hill. Plus, we'll have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, along with the weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association and market information from Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
An agricultural news brief from agview.net. For the third month in a row, the Agriculture Producer Sentiment weakened in October. The Ag Economy Barometer declined to 121. That's 3 points lower than what happened a month earlier. The modest decline occurred as a result of producers' weaker perceptions regarding both current and future conditions in the production agriculture sector. Now, some recent weakness in farmer sentiment appears to be driven by a number of issues, concerns about input prices rising to now the top of the list. The Farm Capital Investment Index remains weak, largely in part because of supply chain problems. 4 out of 10 respondents said that tight machinery inventory were holding back maybe some purchases and how they wanted to move forward. Well, the U.S. goods exported to China surged last year by $18.5 billion, almost 18% over 2019. Now, the surge follows nearly a decade low in the U.S.-China trade in 2019 and the conclusion of the U.S.-China Phase 1 trade agreement in January of 2020. Now, all those numbers, according to a study released by the U.S.-China Business Council this week. The study found that 64% of U.S. congressional districts exported more goods to China in 2020 compared to a year prior, and 72 districts increased their exports by more than $100 million. Now, this increase was particularly sharp in the farming community of the Midwest, as well as the oil exporting regions in Texas and Louisiana, as well as Oregon, because of all those semiconductors. You can find more on these and other stories at agview.net. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Colin Woodall, the CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, is joining us. We're in Nashville at the Cattle Industry Convention. Call it CattleCon now, to kind of get in with all that, which is kind of cool. But all right, let's talk about what's going on. We talked about all these different ideas on cattle marketing. Still, there's groups out there and individuals say, hey, let's go back a few years ago when mandatory country of origin labeling, things were good in the cattle industry. Why don't, if we put that back in, good times will be here again?
Cool. It is the issue that just never quits. And all we have to do is remind ourselves that cool was law of the land for 6.5 years. Two major takeaways. One is our case failed in the WTO, and we were on the verge of being retaliated against us by Canada and Mexico to the tune of $1 billion, which we just cannot afford to have that kind of retaliation from two of our biggest customers. And we knew that the American consumer here was not paying attention to it. So we had all of this compliance cost for nothing, and we were on the verge of retaliation for nothing. So we know that mandatory country of origin labeling as it was does not work. We're taking a new approach. That is, let's make sure that whatever has that label, product of the U.S., from a voluntary standpoint is fully traceable. We know it's U.S. product, and we're using the voluntary process verified programs that exist today to be able to move that forward. That's where we're going to have success, and that's where we're focused.
What do you say to those that say NCBA represents the packers, not the independent cattlemen? Talk about your membership.
All of our leaders are cattle producers, cattle feeders. All of the decisions that are made on our policy are made by cattle producers who are appointed by their state cattlemen's association to help our process. And it's that policy that they pass. That policy book is what we implement on Capitol Hill. That policy is not voted on or influenced by the packers. We don't talk to the packers every day to get our marching orders. Matter of fact, we find ourselves in a lot of cases on the opposite side of these issues from many of the packers. So those who continue to say that, one, have never been to one of our meetings and don't know anything about the National Cattlemen's Beef Association.
All right, I want to get that out there. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the infrastructure bill that's now working its way through. An awful lot of money. I mean, you know, $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Now you're talking real money. But we see some of the votes, Republicans switched over and voted with the Democrats. Not maybe switch is the right word, but the point is some of those coalitions seem to be unraveling, or have they been, when we look at to bring some positives to the cattle industry.
You know, we have to look at this infrastructure bill for what it is, and it is a needed thing. We need some infrastructure investment. But the way that the President and Congress have gone around it or about it is not the best way, because all they want to do is raise taxes on our backs in order to pay for it, and that is unacceptable. There is a way that we can do both. They have to also understand that when it comes time to really consider their climate change priorities, they need us. They need the grazing green space that we provide, and the very tax provisions that they're talking about to pay for infrastructure is completely counter to that message. So that is what we are delivering, not only to members of Congress, but also to the President, that if you want to be successful in what you're doing, don't tax us.
All right, well, there's a lot of things we can talk about, but I know our time is short. So, Colin, always great to see you. Thanks, and we'll continue to follow up with you on these issues, so appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Ken.
Colin Woodall, the CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more in just a moment.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know-to-Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com.
Danielle Beck with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. She's in the Public Affairs Division. In fact, the Senior Vice President of Senior Executive Director. There we go. We get all these titles right. But anyway, let's talk about where we left off. Congress going back in the end of August now. Short time, short window. There's not that many days even for the end of the year, but there's a lot to cram in, good or bad. So let's look at maybe where you're hearing things to play out in the fall, and then let's look to next year because it's an election year.
Yes. In addition to an infrastructure initiative, Congress is going to have to figure out how they want to fund the government for the next fiscal year. We know that they reach the expiration date on funding at the end of September. Every year for what seems like entirely too long, we've been in a situation where they've got a continuing resolution, some short-term funding scenarios that get us through, X period of time. Hopefully we don't end up in a situation in which we've got CR upon CR through December, but there is a scenario where that could happen. They are looking at some really great new funding provisions. They brought back earmarks in the House and Senate that has allowed members to really advocate for good projects in their district. We've got some great ag funding provisions in there. The hope, I think, is that they could raise some of the spending limits and provide more funding for critical initiatives like research, investments in agriculture that will allow us to really be a resilient industry or resilient industries in the future. But whether or not they can get that across the finish line in that short period of time is the question.
Okay, a couple of other things pretty critical. One is the reauthorization of the price reporting.
Yes.
That's coming up, and there's been a few things that have been added recently. We're still kind of seeing those play out. Will that happen, or will that maybe be extended on to maybe kick the can for another day?
Yeah, so if you recall, we are living in a short-term or a one-year extension of LMR.
Right.
And it is, probably pretty likely that we'll see another short-term extension. My colleague Tanner Beamer in the DC office likes to say that we have to be careful about a Christmas tree scenario in which folks keep layering on their own different priorities and trying to look at LMR as a vehicle for something that it's not intended to be. So, we'll hopefully see a clean re-op. It's critical that LMR does not lapse.
All right, we got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. So let's look at the crystal ball then. Let's get through this year into next with redistricting all over the country, all that taking place, election year, midterm for the president. What might happen in 2023?
That is an excellent question, and if I had a solid answer that you could put money on, I'd be very well paid predicting the future. No, I think that members in both parties and in both chambers want to keep their jobs, and they are very tuned into what their constituencies want and what they're asking for. So we've got a really powerful voice, and we as an industry have an opportunity to influence what happens in 2023. We're going to be looking at a farm bill, but there's also a ton happening within the administration and Congress right now where they want to support their constituencies. Folks want to get reelected. They want to come back to DC. And so we're going to lean into this opportunity and hopefully set that agenda for them.
The bottom line, though, is your members, cattle producers, need to be engaged with their elected officials.
Absolutely. All politics is local. It is critical that members hear from their constituents. I'm a hired gun. I live in DC, so our producers don't have to, but really your voice is what makes a difference in DC.
All right, Danielle, thanks for the update. We could go a lot longer, but that's time's of the essence for so many things. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Danielle Beck. She is the Senior Executive Director of Governmental Affairs for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Stay with us. More in a moment.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hi, I'm Nikki Kirchhoff, and I am a part of the Kansas Collegiate Corn Academy. I'm in class 4, and we just got back from a trip from Washington, D.C., where we got to meet with a lot of industry professionals about the American agriculture. We mainly honed in on the Kansas corn industry, but we got to touch on a lot of other aspects as well. We were out there for a few days, and we got to meet with John Deere and National Corn Growers Association, the U.S. Grains Council, Torrey and Associates, and a lot of other great industry professionals. We got to talk about the trade between all the countries and the policies that go into that. We got to go in with lobbyists and hear what they do on a day-to-day basis. We also got to hear about the right to repair with John Deere and all the issues facing them right now. We also got to meet with Tracy Mann's office staff, which was very interesting. And we got to learn what they do on a daily basis and the policies that they are working on right now and the committees that he is a part of. Kansas Corn has been a great learning opportunity for me. I've got to go on several learning trips throughout the state of Kansas and now to Washington, D.C. They also have a scholarship program, which is available to students. If you're interested in applying for the next class of Collegiate Academy or scholarship, you can find them at the Kansas Corn website. But thank you.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Fall means the holidays are just around the corner, and if you're making your list so you can celebrate the state we love by giving the gift to Kansas with great products made by From the Land of Kansas members. From the Land of Kansas is the state trademark program, promoting and celebrating agricultural experiences and products grown, raised, or produced in Kansas. Kansas-made food and other products not only make unique gifts, but they also support Kansas farmers, ranchers, and agribusinesses. Look for the From the Land of Kansas logo when shopping at gift shops, boutiques, and grocery stores. When you shop Kansas, you support local Kansas companies. During the holiday season, giving the gift of Kansas is even easier. We have 3 different holiday boxes that can be ordered online and shipped directly to your family and friends. The Ad Astra box and the Kanza box offer different combinations of products from across the state, including sweet and salty snacks, baking mixes, and even goat's milk lotion. This year we've added a new box, the Blue Stem box, which will be popular with popcorn lovers. Order by December 10th to ensure delivery by Christmas. For other gift ideas or to find retailers or Kansas businesses near you, visit FromTheLandOfKansas.com. If you don't live near the retailers, you can also shop online at the From the Land of Kansas marketplace at shop.FromTheLandOfKansas.com, where you'll find everything from cheese and snack mixes to pet treats and lavender candles, and of course those holiday gift boxes. Look for the From the Land of Kansas logo and make Kansas part of your holidays this year, from the gifts you give to the meals you prepare.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Tracking the ebb and flow of wheat through the U.S. wheat supply chain is a tool Kansas farmers can use in their grain marketing plans for the upcoming year. About half of the Kansas wheat crop is exported every year, emphasizing the importance of knowing where grain is headed once farmers deliver it to the elevator. Luckily, producers are well equipped with reports and tools to accomplish this goal. The USDA issues regular reports on crop progress and condition, commercial sales, exports, and overall U.S. and global production and use. Its World Agricultural Supply and Demand Situation, or WASDE report, provides a month-to-month overview of global ag trade with updated estimates as weather events unfold and crops in both the United States and abroad emerge, mature, and are harvested. The report provides valuable insights into the supply and demand factors that influence the price of wheat. U.S. Wheat Associates digests these reports and provides data breaking down top markets with comparisons to previous years and the trends from worldwide competitors. U.S. Wheat introduced a digital map of the U.S. wheat export supply system as a visual planning tool for its overseas representatives and their customers. The map provides users with the ability to identify U.S. wheat production by class, wheat shuttle loading terminals, rail lines, river terminals, major rivers, and export elevator locations. U.S. Wheat also provides a weekly report on commercial sales of wheat, available at their website at uswheat.org.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Kansas State University Department of Agricultural Economics is in the process of developing resources and services specifically for transitioning agricultural operations and beginning farmers and ranchers. An office is being created in the department that would provide several services, including helping to connect exiting farmers and landowners with beginning farmers or ranchers through an application and curated matching process. One-on-one technical assistance from a Kansas State University farm analyst to help facilitate transition of an existing operation, and an extensive training program for beginning farmers and ranchers to master critical financial and business skills. Currently, the department is looking to hire a new director for the new office, which is expected to be functional in 2022. The position has been secured for 3 years with another 3-year commitment by Kansas State University Research and Extension leadership to help support the program. Long-term plans are to make this a self-sustaining service. Partnering agencies which will serve as an advisory board include the Kansas Livestock Association, Kansas Farm Management Association, Kansas Department of Agriculture, Kansas Bankers Association, Kansas Farm Bureau, Kansas Farm Service Agency, Kansas Natural Resources Conservation Service, and Kansas Grazing Land Coalition.
No one plans to get sick or injured, but when life happens, it's important you and your family are protected. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans are there to provide continued health care coverage to meet your needs. Choose from a broad range of individual and family plans. And if you're over 65, we have options for you too. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Mitch Dewar here with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom. As of October 31st, the USDA pegged corn harvest at 74% complete and bean harvest at 79%. Corn has had quite the rally since the bearish October 12th USDA supply and demand report. The following day we saw a low of 506 3/4 and rallied almost 60 cents over the next few weeks. Fertilizer and input costs for the next year's corn crop have been a hot topic and got the funds back into the market. Beans bounced off the low that day following the report as well, but have been trading more sideways as the bulls are struggling to gain much traction. The demand side of the beans is of concern as Chinese buying has been under what is needed to meet USDA expectations. The bears are also watching a good start for planting in South America, along with a potential increase of acres domestically for 2022. The wheat complex has moved to levels that we haven't seen for over 7 years. KC wheat broke the $8 mark, and Minneapolis spring wheat broke the $10 mark. The cow futures have been rather volatile the last couple weeks. Feeders saw a flush the first of the week off of rising corn costs, but quickly regained that move in the following days. Over in live cattle, futures are moving to 2-month highs as the cash market continues to strengthen, with producers gaining some well-needed leverage, along with weekly kill numbers improving. If you would like to discuss the markets, give us a call at 888-452-8751. I'm Mitch Dewar with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom.
In 3, 2, 1. Well, that's our show this week. Be social with us at KansasAgReport.net or on our social media channels. Well, pheasant season is coming up in just a couple of days, so be courteous to our out-of-staters and always be safe around firearms and be sure to wear that orange. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Are you looking for Medicare supplement insurance plans? Now is a good time to look at your options with Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. A Medicare supplement insurance plan can help cover certain out-of-pocket expenses Medicare doesn't cover. Things like deductibles, co-insurance, and certain limitations that can be costly in the event of an accident or illness. With Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans, you have options to Medicare supplement insurance plans with 4 levels of affordable coverage and service from an organization known for its commitment serving Kansans. We encourage you to compare our rates. For more information and to get a quote, contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you or visit kfbhealthplans.com. Medicare supplements insured by Members Health Insurance Company, Columbia, Tennessee. Not connected with or endorsed by the U.S. or state government.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Premier Farm & Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm & Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.